G'day guys, Mac with the Outer Circle, and today we're looking at the new Horus Heresy Exemplary Battle that has been released. Previously, we've had the Iron Warriors, the Imperial Fist, and the Night Lords all get a little something, as well as the World Eaters, and today we're getting something for both the Dark Angels and the Death Guard. I had a quick look at this morning before work, but I haven't really sat down and had a good read of it. So, my initial thoughts were, okay, good to see another one of this, and that I know there are units for 2 legions, not just the one in this little expansion, so I'm looking forward to reading through that. So this is my impressions. Now, first thing we'll get out of the way, yes, it's not the Shattered Legions, it's not the Istvan Legions, it's not the Book 1 Legions, who are all, I suppose Death Guard are Book 1 Legion, so, but it's not, the Emperor's Children, it's not the Sons of Horus. I feel like they and the Loyalist Istvan Legions do need something. They haven't got it this time out, but it's a broken record. We've been over it and why it's a problem. So let's just move on from there. Is it any good? So we have obviously the Death Guard here in Mark IV armor. A destroyer-type unit with bolt guns and flamers attacking an inner circle Knight Cenobium, it looks like. Okay, this will be interesting. So, if you watched my video on the Thramas Crusade, you'll see that Gul-Karad is the furthest western planet that is shown, although I didn't have a name stamped on it in the video. And that is a Forge World. So, Perditus is the planet that this takes place on, and that's where they find the Tucholcha machine, which spoilers. That is the planet in question that the Lion nipped off to in the middle of the Thramas Crusade to cheat code his way to the end of the Crusade and get one over on the poor Night Lords, who it seems were just cannon fodder for the story. Anyway, let's move on from there and go look at some rules. So, as usual with these, I don't look at the actual campaign, because if I was to, I would prefer to do it as a series. So let's go into the actual rules of the units. So we have the Inner Circle Knight Cenobium Order of the Broken Claws. 275 points for 5 guys. So let's see, 275 divided by 5, you're looking at around the 55 points per model mark, I believe. So you're paying a little bit more, I guess, for the Order Preceptor, who's the sergeant of the squad. So stat line is essentially Knight Cenobium stat line, okay. War gear, Cataphractii Terminator armor, Tyrannic Greatsword, and the Plasma Caster. The special rules are the Legiones Astartes Dark Angels, Stubborn, Adamantium Will, and the Order's Exemplar. Yep. So they have the can't take a option different from the size of the Hecatonstica. Yep, okay. And that's all pretty normal stuff for the Dark Angels. Okay, so briefly for those who don't know, the Dark Angels have the different orders, like you got the Fire Wing, the Iron Wing, that kind of thing. One of them is so those are like the main wings. Then you have the different orders within those wings. So they're kind of like different fellowships or brotherhoods of knights that the Dark Angels belong to, and they have rules that do or don't sync up with that particular type of wing based on what you choose from the Hecatonistica, which is a silly long name which I can't pronounce very well. Dedicated transport, they can take a Land Raider Phobos or a Spartan if they have up to 10 models. That is great because that unlocks a heavy support slot. That's powerful right there. Up to 5 additional models. Yep, they come with Thunderhammers. They come with Tyrannic Greatswords and can swap them for Thunderhammers for free, or the Advex Mors Greatsword for just 2 points a model. So for 2 points a model, that is the same cost as a regular Space Marine would pay to get a close combat weapon. Mastercrafted Thunderhammer or Paragon Blade for 25 points for the start. Well, Paragon Blade would turn the Order Preceptor into a pretty strong duelist. Web 6, Tough 4, Cataphractii Armor, 3 attacks, fighting at Strength 5 with a weapon that on 6 is the wound causes instant death, and his AP2 at initiative. That's strong. He would hit a Praetor, by the way, on 3s, because being a Dark Angel, if he's using a sword weapon against models with the same weapon skill, you count your weapon skill as basically being one higher than it actually is. So he counters like a weapon skill 7 model if he goes up against a weapon skill 6 model like a Praetor. So that's interesting. The Order Preceptor may take a grenade harness. Yes, you'll need it if you want to play these guys and get those charges off at initiative. You're going to be needing that grenade harness, because if you don't take it and you fight through any kind of difficult terrain, you'll be striking at initiative 1. Alright, the Advex Mors Greatsword. Strength plus 3, AP 3, melee 2-handed rending murderous strike. So the regular Tyrannic Greatsword is strength plus 2, AP 3, and instant death. So this one's not instant death unless you roll a 6 to wound, but it is rending, and they are going to be fighting at least strength 7. What interests me about this is it's very easy to get Furious Charge conferred to squads in 30k, which means the squad could potentially be striking at strength 8, which is instant death to Marines anyway. On 6s to wound, they'll be instant death to all monstrous creatures and characters and such who don't have Eternal Warrior. But at strength 7 plus rending, they're going to have a better chance of cracking open some tanks than autocannons will, than assault cannons will. Actually, they probably have a better shot at cracking open tanks than crack missiles will, because they're more likely to get things like penetrating hits than a crack missile will, thanks to the rending and the amount of attacks they'll get. Yeah, the ability to strike at strength 8 initiative, even if it's only AP 3, they'll be fighting before most other Terminators that can hurt them, because most Terminators that can hurt other Terminators are going to be striking at initiative 1. Well, if you throw enough wounds at someone with a 2+ armor save, they will get through. 1 in 6 is going to kill. And on the charge, even with 5 of these guys, on the charge, you're looking at, 16 attacks before the other Terminators will probably get to strike? That's at least 3 failed saves. It doesn't matter if they're 2-wound Terminators, they will instantly die to this. And that's only with 5 of these guys. That's pretty nasty. So their Orders Exemplars rule gives them, when an Inner Circle Knight Cenobium is selected as part of a Legionnaires Astartes army, all models in the Inner Circle Knight Cenobium gain the Order Exemplars, Order of the Broken Core, for free. They gain +1 to their to-wound rolls and locked in combat with an enemy unit that includes 1 or more monstrous creatures or gargantuan. So these guys are absolutely going to murder like Praevian consoles and Vorax squads and Castellax squads, and even against the Thanatar, it's going to be really nasty. They'll be wounding Thanatars even without a Furious Charge on a 4 with the Advex Mors Greatswords, and on a 6 just instant deathing the poor thing. Or Demons of Ruinstorm in general. Okay, I guess they just know how to hit them harder because they're demons. Additionally, when resolving the effects of penetrating hits as a result of close combat attacks, models are seeing this order gain +1 to the vehicle damage. So, as I was saying before, they can really hurt vehicles, it looks like. Yeah, they can really hurt vehicles. Such is the superlative skill of the unit, they may make Overwatch attacks despite being equipped with Cataphractii Terminator armor. I'm going to say it, this is a very uninspired squad, and probably a little bit too strong at 45 points a model. I mean, a regular Terminator is 35 points a model, I'm going to say. And over a regular Terminator, you're going to get an additional additional weapon skill. You're going to get Stubborn, so you're never going to drop below leadership 9, even if you lose your Sergeant. They all have Animating Wills, so +1 on their Deny the Witch rolls against spells that are targeted against them. They're coming with an AP2 plasma weapon built in, the Plasma Caster. They are going to have the Orders Exemplars built in for free. They're also coming with a Thunder Hammer for free. So in 10 points, over a regular Terminator, you're telling me that plus some weapon skill, a free Thunder Hammer versus a power weapon, and an AP2 2-shot, I think it is, like a plasma pistol type dealy. with the ability to Overwatch is only worth 10 points. Oh, and the Amman Wheel and the Stubborn is only worth 10 points over regular Terminator. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that's, what would the British say? Bollocks, I believe. At least 5 more points on this per model would make sense to me. Because, yeah, that is ridiculous. Because what you're saying there is that for every 3 of these guys, you can buy 4 regular Terminators. But by the time you equip your 4 regular Terminators in a way that they can equally be kitted out as this squad, they're still going to be behind when it comes to the weapon skill, the Stubborn, the Adamantium Will, and all that. But you're paying a lot of points. Like, what is it? Like 10 points a model for a Thunderhammer? So the Thunderhammer alone that they all come with stock is going to make them the same price as a regular Terminator. Or bring a regular Terminator up to this. These guys are a massive discount, is what I'm getting at. And really, did we need another thing like this? Like, come on, it's the Dark Angels. They've got all these different wings, and you've just given us another flavour of Special Snowflake Terminator. We already have Inner Circle Knight Cenobium. We've got the Exindio class Battle Automata. We have the Firewing Enigmatus Cabal off the top of my head. There's also the... This is where it gets hard. I gotta remember everything. The Deathwing Knights, or whatever they're called. Deathwing Companions, I think it is. And of course, there's also the Interemptor Squad, the Plasma Gun Boys. So was there not something else that we could have put in there instead? Like, I don't know, maybe you could have gone Iron Wing, like had a special Dark Angels variant of a tank, or I don't know, something a little bit more inspired than the exact same unit they've already got, but with a even more special sword. I don't know, seems kind of silly to me. Then we get to the Death Guard, and immediately I thought, okay, it's Death Guard, they're going to get a Destroyer unit. And they did, but I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this. So, what you have here is you have a Destroyer stat line, basically. But instead of being armed with twin bolt pistols, they actually have a bolt gun and bolt pistol. Chainsaw to combat blade, so they're going to be striking with 2 attacks in close combat. Don't let the 1 attack fool you there, because they've got a bolt pistol and a close combat weapon. They've got frag, crack, and rad grenades. They've got hardened armor, which is awesome, because re-rolling armor saves against blast and template weapons is always fun. And they've got counterattack, which is fantastic, because even though they're not the fastest unit in the world, if they do get charged, they're going to be striking with 3 attacks each, and 4 attacks on the Poison Master. So that's pretty delicious. And they can take a Rhino or a Land Raider as a dedicated transport. They can take up to 10 additional models. So they've got this big heart on at the moment for taking squads of 15. So traditional destroyers are squads of 10. But I noticed with the World Eaters, Special Snowflake destroyers, I think that seemed to be the recurring pattern, by the way, here. Destroyers and Terminators. It's the only 2 units you ever see in these exemplary battles. Anyway, 15 models, 18 points each is a steal. That's, so regular, regular Space Marine, what is it, like 12 points, I think, for a regular boy in power armor. So 18, you're paying 6 points to get rad grenades, the additional combat weapon, hardened armor, and counterattack. That's a steal. I'm not going to say broken, but it's on the cusp. It's definitely on the a little bit cheap side. I probably think 20 points a model would have been a little bit fairer. 25 points to get the entire squad melter bombs. It's exponentially better the more models you have. I don't like those flat, pay this much, the entire squad gets melter bombs, because it means big squads pay a lot less for a lot more gain. 25 points spread out over 15 models is a lot better value than 25 points spread out over 5 models. It goes from being 5 points a model to like 0.7 points per model. Something ridiculous like that anyway. Or 1.7. So here we get to the interesting part. So any model in the squad may exchange their bolter for a flamer with chem munitions. Well, it's always going to have chem munitions option anyway, because they're Death Guard. So it gets hot but can reroll to wound, which is cool. For every 5 models in the squad, one of them may exchange their bolt pistol for a heavy flamer with chem munitions, which is awesome. Although at 20 points per one is probably too much. If a flamer is free, a heavy flamer shouldn't be 20 points. So I'd say increase the cost of the Poisoner squad to 20 each, but drop the cost of the heavy flamer down to like 10. Because, come on, it's good, but it's not that good. It's not blowing up tanks. If these guys pop up in a termite, they're going to throw enough wounds down if they have a good reserve roll with those flamers anyway, that the heavy flamer is not going to make too much of a difference. The Poison Master may exchange his Chainsword or Combat Blade for one of the following. A power weapon or a power scythe. The scythe might actually be a tasty option on the Sergeant because you've got enough flamers that you're not really going to miss not taking one flamer. And the option of having a guy who's always striking with, a minimum of 3 attacks on that first turn of combat, whether he charges or is charged. He's going to be striking 3 attacks. He's going to be striking at Strength 5, AP 2. He can do it at Initiative 3, and he'll be striking against people who are going to be -1 toughness thanks to the rag grenades. So you're talking 4s to hit other Marines, 2s to wound, and they're not going to get an armor save before they make their attacks with anything that can actually hurt you. So that's a really solid, challenging model in the squad. And I mean, who's going to be crazy enough to charge a squad that's all armed with chem munition flamers and has counterattack? You are better to let yourself be charged than letting these guys get the number of models in the squad by D3, minus the Sergeant, wounds caused on you with Shred. Ooh. Sergeant may take Artificer Armor, you'd be silly not to, and they can take 3 Phosphex bombs each. So at first I looked at this and I thought, okay, they're going to get a Destroyer squad, boring. But then they pleasantly surprised me because they made a tactical support squad and gave them some of the rules of Destroyers. And that is the stuff I like seeing. So full points to them there because you made the sort of unit I really like today, Forge World. You made something with character and personality. You essentially took 2 different units which have overlapping principles, combined them together, giving us aspects of both, but without making it stupidly broken, versus the other unit, which is a total fail because you gave us the exact same flavour of Icy Pole we already had. Only this one's got a little bit more cordial in it than the last one. Well, the Americans call it Kool-Aid. So yeah, Knight Cenobium, Order of the Broken Claws, can jump off a cliff. As can their Advex Moors Greatsword. I mean, Tyrannic Greatsword wasn't big enough, so you had to come up with an even bigger sword. But the Mortis Poisoner squad, this is nice. Not overpowered, super fluffy, lots of fun, with versatility, and something that I really think goes in their favour that a lot of these specialist units miss. This unit is not fighting for the exact same slot, performing the exact same job as another unit, whereas, say, that Inner Circle Knight Cenobium is a direct competitor with the other Inner Circle Knight Cenobium. The Mortis Poisoner squad is not a direct companion to a tactical support squad with flamers, nor is it a direct counterpart to Destroyers. So that's great. It doesn't negate the other unit from existing, and that is the hallmark of a well-designed unit. So excellent work there. And I believe there's a couple of pictures as well. So this is the Knight Cenobium in the Deathwing colour scheme in the white, and they are quite nicely painted too, actually. So that's neat. And then we've got a bunch of the boys who are still armed with a few bolt guns. Is it worth it when it's free to change the flamers? I'd probably just change them all to flamers and make them... A couple of wounds at 24 inches means a lot less than the ability to stick these guys in a Termite or a Land Raider, roll up to something, jump out, and burn them so hard that their ancestors feel the pain. Yeah, that's more fun. So yeah, that's my thoughts overall. Inner Circle Knight Cenobium, Pooh, and the Poisoners, awesome. Anyway, that's it for me. Mac with the Outer Circle. Hope you all enjoy the episode. Thoughts and feedback below as always, guys, and I'll see you all on the next one.